Hello, everyone. So I am sorry I'm a few minutes late. Once again, I am trying to get on all the different social media platforms, and it's just taking me a while.
How is hip hop supposed to respond?
Mm, 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 mm. So thank you so much for your patience. I really appreciate you. I know there are many people who are excited to hear what I have to talk about. What if no one cares about this book you just wrote, right? So I'm really excited to get into that and talk to you about it. So I'm going to talk to everybody. Fantastic. So now I'm live on TikTok, I'm live on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. Hello, everyone. My name is Janelle Villiers, and welcome to another episode of the Janelle Villiers podcast. I'm your girl, Janelle Villiers. That's me. And if you are here for the first time, go ahead and put a 1 in the comments. Let me know that you are here. I love to shout out all of my newcomers. If you have been here in the past, go ahead and put a 2 in the comments. I love to shout out all the people who've been here in the past. Love to have you guys all here. I am all about sharing tips for how to write a book for all of my aspiring authors out there. I'm giving tons of tips all the time. Hi, you're welcome. I give free master classes all the time where I help people navigate that whole process. And also I interview authors. So new authors, people who have maybe been authors for a little while. I love to hear your stories, get those stories out to more people. And sometimes we even have guests on who haven't written their story yet, but their story is really important to share. And so we have those folks on as well. And so I'm really excited. I'm really excited because today is another episode. And today we're going to be talking about this specifically. So TikTok, I'm so sorry you don't get the really cool banners that I have. But our topic today is what if no one cares? What if you write the book or you even wrote the book, but it feels like no one cares? No one's actually reading your book. Well, I want to talk to you guys about that because that is really important. Nobody loves that feeling. And yet that is a big fear that a lot of authors have. And so I really wanted to address that. You guys who have been with me in the past, you know I love to have my notes because I don't want to miss a thing. That's right. Don't want to miss anything. So let's get into it. So first I wanted to talk about why the fear of being ignored runs deeper than fear of rejection. One is that rejection gives you closure, and then silence kind of leaves you spiraling. Raise your hand. Let me know if this is you, if you've like ever experienced something like that, because that is why the silence or fearing that no one is like out there listening to you is even worse, right? Because you just don't know. You don't know what happened. Was it not good enough? Did they not like the idea of the story, right? Like there's just so many left unanswered. And you start to wonder, am I invisible? Does my voice even matter, right? Those types of questions. So of course it's like even worse than the rejection. But this fear is rooted in visibility trauma, not necessarily laziness. So many writers, especially women, and if you're a marginalized creator, us too, carry years of being overlooked. And so writing a book feels like saying, look at me, look at me. That's what it feels like, right? And so that's scary when you've been unseen before. And that's just real. And so if you're having that feeling, that doesn't mean you're lazy. It doesn't mean that something's wrong with you. It's probably just a response that's normal. And I think it's okay to hold space for that as you are trying to move forward, because if you never get over that fear, you're also never going to reach the readers that you're looking to reach as well. So I want to make sure that we acknowledge it and then we move through it, so that way you can ultimately help the readers who need to read your book. And trying to figure out how do we reach them, right? That's like the big thing. So naming the fear neutralizes its power. So saying I'm scared no one will care out loud helps you reclaim it and prepare for it with a strategy, right? Working with someone who can help you market your book, find your target audience, instead of feeling this shame because you don't know those things, right? So that doesn't mean like you're a bad person or something's wrong with you for not knowing that. You can just say, look, I have this fear and now I want to do something about it, right? Like you got to name it to tame it kind of a thing, right? Let's not ignore it. Let's now strategize around it. How can we find your target audience to make sure that they read your book? Because people do want to read your book. 100% they want to, but they just don't even know it exists. So how can we do that? So the second thing that I wanted to cover is what most writers get wrong about book marketing and what they do instead. So most writers wait until the book is done before they start even talking about it. And that is a huge mistake. Don't do that. Don't wait for the book to be written, and then you start talking about it. You need to be talking about it from the moment you even conceptualize it. So those of you who are on my masterclass, you know that Melissa Dias, our book marketing expert, comes on and she talks about this from the very beginning. You cannot be in the secret service when it comes to your book and like not tell anyone. You got to tell people. How are they supposed to know that your book is out there if you don't tell anyone? So number one, you're not in the secret service. You got to tell people that your book is out there and it exists. And start recording yourself writing. Like if you're in the writing process, start recording yourself making posts, doing silly things, doing bloopers, things like that. People love behind the scenes. And all of that is going to help you to kind of build this story about the struggle you were on and what it took to get to the place where you actually have the book written, right? So the other thing is that selling a book isn't about your credentials. It's about your connections. So stop thinking about this need to like prove something and start sharing what you know your reader has gone through. This is a big thing. So if you know your reader has gone through something and you're like, oh, I've gone through that too. And here's what I've learned, right? Here are some of the things that you can take away. Here are some lessons that you can teach people. That is huge. So it's not about the credentials. It's about the fact that like there are people who are going through or have gone through some of the things that you went through that in your book, you're actually teaching people how to work through and get to the other side of. And then stop promoting the product, start promoting the promise. So instead of my book is out, say, here's what this book can help you shift, solve, or maybe even feel. Start there, right? And if any of you have read Simon Sinek's Start With Why, right? Like start there. Like, here's what my book, again, can help you shift, solve, or feel. That's going to be huge. And you can start talking about that early. Don't wait until the book is out, right? Definitely want to start talking about this early. Your audience needs to find you. They need to hear what you've got to say, and they need to hear from you because you're the only one who can say it the way you can say it. So this is really important. All right, so then some practical ways to start building buzz before your book is even finished. Again, don't wait until your book is done, right? You want to start talking about it before. Share your writing journey in real time. So you can do like little short videos, whether it's on IG stories or maybe an actual reel or a short or a TikTok video, right? And like just show like you writing or like you working with your editors or something like that, and have some, or it could just be some text to show, that like, this is like my messy first draft and it's a human process, behind the book. It's not a machine doing, it's not AI, right? Like this is really you doing the work, putting the book out there. Another thing that you can do is you can involve your audience in micro decisions. So let them help you with the title, right? They can vote on the title of the book. They can vote on which cover you're thinking about doing for your book. They can vote on the author picture that you're going to use on your book, right? Like have them start to like weigh in on things. People love to give their opinions. They love to feel like their opinions are like helpful and helping you, right? And then create a pre-launch interest form. You could do like a wait list. Even if you don't have a cover or you don't really even have a published date, you can ask, want to be the first to know when this book drops? Do you just want to know when this book is going to drop, right? And you can ask a simple question you can ask. And so people would love, there's a lot of people, especially your target audience, who are going to want to know when the book is going to be launched, right? And so you just gather their information so that way you can tell them, right? You want your target audience to be the first to know when the book is coming out, so that way they can get it. All right, and then the last thing I wanted to talk about is how to turn your audience into supporters who are cheering when you launch. So here's the thing, your cheerleaders aren't just gonna like magically show up. I mean, of course you have your family and your loved ones, your bestie, like all that, right? So they're gonna show up for you, but you're also gonna need outside of them. It can't just be those people alone who need to hear your story. There are people who do not even know your name right now who need to hear your story because again, only you can tell the story in the unique way that you can tell it. And so there are 3 ways in which you can create this audience of supporters. One is show up consistently, even before, again, you have the news of the new book. So when your audience feels connected to you, they'll care about what you create. Connection is key. Be authentic. You don't need to look, I don't got makeup on or anything like that. We're just out here giving information, trying to be as valuable as possible. Number 2, talk to the emotional pain points that your book solves. When people see themselves in your story or your teachings, they become invested in your success, right? So, oh, wow, she's gone through the same thing that I've gone through, or he's gone through the same thing I've gone through. And look, he has actual tips for how to get this done. Like, yeah, let's like hear about that, right? And then number 3, Make them feel like they're insiders. Call them your early readers, right? Your beta readers, your launch farm, the people who made this book possible, right? They're like your crew. And people who are a part of like the inner circle, their crew, they're going to love to spread the word because they're a part of something that's bigger than them. People love being a part of something that's bigger than themselves. So that's a really big deal. All right. So you guys know how I do. For those of you who are new to my podcast, I always like to do a summary at the end so we can just sum up everything that we've talked about. So today we talked about, the topic was, what if no one cares? What if you write a book and no one cares? They don't care to read it. They don't care to buy it. None of the things. So here are some ways to work around that. So number one, we talked about why the fear of being ignored runs deeper than the fear of rejection. So when you're ignored, there's no closure, right? When you're rejected, you know, oh, this person is not interested. But when you're ignored, you don't know. Like there's like some questions like, what was it? Did they like get my email? Did they see my post? Or was it just that they weren't interested, right? Like you just kind of have like all these questions. Am I invisible? Does my voice even matter, right? All those questions. And so this fear is rooted in invisibility trauma, not necessarily you being lazy or anything like that. So especially if you're coming from a marginalized community, right? And so you're a creator and from that community, there have been instances where we've been ignored in the past and we've had to like overprove our value or our worth. And so writing a book feels like, look at me. And that's really scary when you've been unseen before. And so it's okay to acknowledge that. Again, I want to hold space for that. And then what can we do to move through that feeling? Because we can create a strategy for it instead of feeling like shame, right? Feeling a lot of shame. Oh, I'm invisible, I'm unworthy, all of that. We want to move through that and create a strategy. So how can we reach the people who want to read your book, right? And so again, this is real. I don't want to make it seem like it's not real. This is real. And also I want you to start thinking about what are some strategies we can put in place so that way you can move forward and move through that. Naming the fear, neutralize it. So we've done that. So number two, the other thing we talked about is what most writers get wrong about marketing and what you should do instead. So number one, you got to start marketing before the book is even out. Don't wait until the book is out. You want to do a lot of behind the scenes things. So start taking videos of you just writing, start taking videos of you and your editor, start taking videos of you walking to the coffee shop on your way to write the book, whatever that looks like, right? But people love behind the scenes. We love that. We love that. I love that, right? Like everybody loves that. So just go ahead and start doing that and then kind of like create the buzz like, oh, like, this friend of mine, this person who I don't know, they're like, this is what it looks like to like go write a book. This is what it looks like for them on their journey. Everybody loves that. And so remember that selling your book is not about your credentials. It's about the connection that you make with folks. So you don't have to prove anything. Just start talking about the problems that your potential audience or your readers could be having and how you've been through that too, right? That's something that you've been through. And so basically what you're promoting is the promise, not the book. So you're not promoting the book. You're promoting what the promise of the book. So here's what this book can help you shift. Here's what this book can help you solve. Here's what this book can help you feel, or it will have you feel. Okay, and then we talked about the practical ways to start building buzz before you've even finished writing your book. And so the first tip that I shared was share your writing journey in real time. So remember all those behind the scenes things. That's a real big deal. Number two is involve your audience in micro decisions. Hey, I want to do a vote on the cover. I want to do a vote on the photo of the author that I'm going to put in the book. I want to do a vote on what's the best title or the subtitle, right? Like have people feel like they're involved. People love that, right? I love doing stuff like that, right? And then people love feeling like their opinion actually counts for something or is helpful. And the third thing is create a pre-launch interest form or some sort of wait list, right? So even if the cover isn't done, you're not anywhere near publishing, or you don't even have a date for publishing, you can ask, hey, do you want to be the first to know when this book drops? Heck yeah, like, right? I want to be the first to know. And so people will get on your list. And that's how you can start to create this audience, right, of people who really care when your book drops. Okay, and then the last thing that we talked about is how to turn your audience into supporters who are cheering you on for your launch. And so the 3 tips that we talked about is to show up consistently, even before you actually have the news, right? So come on, again, you're going to talk about the promise, not necessarily the book, but you're talking about the promise, the thing that your book solves, the feeling that your book will give people, all of that. Talk to the emotional pain points that the book solves. You really want to come and do that when you come on social media and that type of thing. That's tip number 2. And tip number 3 is make people feel like they're an insider, right? Start to call people your early readers, your launch farm, your beta reading team, the people who made this possible, right? They know who they are, the people who made this possible, but they're like your inner circle, and your inner circle is going to want to see you succeed. They're going to want to see you grow and like be able to reach the audience that you're really looking to reach. And so they're going to be huge supporters of you, and they're going to spread the word about your book. All right, so that's all the time I have. Those are the tips for what if no one cares, right? What if no one cares? I will be back next Monday at the same time. If you have found this valuable, oh, hey, Shannon. I didn't think of making content and writing the book. Thank you for the idea. Oh, awesome. Cool. I'm glad you understand that. Thank you. And thank you for saying that was helpful, because sometimes I throw some stuff out there and I don't know, is this thing on, right? Is anybody getting me? You want to be as valuable as you can, right? All right. So I will be back next Monday, same time, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central, 3:30 Mountain, and 2:30 Pacific time, with more tips on how to write your book, or with a guest who is an author, or a guest who hasn't written their book, but definitely you need to hear their story. So until then, I will see you guys next week. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.